Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we are going into the city. I've not been to Chicago in probably like a year and a half, and I'm both excited and a little nervous because I'm bringing Briggs by myself. We'll see how it goes, but I found this gorgeous light fixture at an architectural salvage place, and I feel like if I wait a little longer than I already have, then it's gonna be sold out if it's not already sold out. So today we are going to the city and we're gonna go see what we can get. I found this fixture while I was looking for sconces for the bedroom. I need a light fixture for the room and then 2 sconces. But this particular fixture, I think it would look really great in the kitchen. And the kitchen currently has a fan, which I don't like having fans in kitchens. I think it's kind of gross, but the kitchen currently has a fan, so I'm gonna take the fan and move that to the bedroom, and then hopefully this light fixture will go in the kitchen and it'll look really good. So that is the plan for the day. Gonna finish getting ready, go grab some breakfast, and then head to Chicago. I love this one. How much is this? Oh, that would be really pretty in the kitchen. I don't know what kind of bulbs that takes though. I like this one a lot, but I don't know about these light bulbs. That's very cool. It's only $70. Absolute unit. $795. Alright, it's a few nights later. It's very much nighttime here, but I found the light. I think it's going to be gorgeous in here. I don't know if it's quite big enough, like in relation to the island that's here. I think it's perfect, but once it's hung up, I'm not really sure how it's going to look. I definitely need to clean it a little bit. It's dusty for one. It definitely needs a little bit of polishing. I don't want to take the full patina off of it, but maybe freshen it up just a smidge. And then I need to find some maybe glass covers that'll go over this. I went to a place yesterday that I might go revisit maybe sometime next week to see if I can find some good glass to go over these. But I love this. I'm glad that they still had it. I think it'll look really good in this kitchen once it's finally hung up in, I don't know, a couple months. I don't know. What do we think? I think it's gonna be so nice. I think it's gonna look really good in here, especially with the color of the kitchen now. I think this will be gorgeous. We'll see. My plan is actually to take this down and put it in the upstairs bedroom. That's currently the plan. So that's why I purchased this for the kitchen. I prefer to have fans in bedrooms, and I think fans in kitchens are kind of dirty, so we never turn this on. But I think that if we just move this to the bedroom, then I save time and money trying to find something for the bedroom. And I found a really cool light fixture in here that will hopefully give us some more light. Even though I haven't posted any renovation content in a while, I have been working a little bit here and there whenever I can. And one weekend Jared was off, so I had the opportunity to continue demoing the primary bedroom. And I actually found 2 wires for where sconces probably most likely used to be, and they are live, so I'm very excited about that, because what I wanted to do initially was put up 4 recessed lights in each of the corners to give the bedroom more lighting, but with those sconces I don't have to. It was a great find, and thus began my hunt for sconces. I'll pop up a few inspiration photos here, but I found some sconces that were antique that I absolutely loved, and they were $500 for the pair. pair. I absolutely loved them, but I knew that Jared would never go for that. Plus, I'd like to find things that are a little less expensive because I know that the materials that I'm using in the room are going to be very pricey. So I'd rather try to save a little money where I can, but I fell in love with these sconces. And something that is unique is that I don't have a light switch for these sconces. I don't know where the switch is for these wires. So I have to have some sort of switch, be it like one of the pull switches or like a twist switch. And those sconces had it, and I was like, oh my gosh. So I was obsessed. I was in love. And I tried my best to find some that were similar to it. I really loved the floral shape of the glass without it being too flowery. And then I found these other sconces that had this beautiful, like, larger glass around them. And again, it wasn't too florally, so I was in love, but it didn't have the switch. And then I started thinking, okay, like, what if I made my own sconces, which is kind of crazy because I have no metalwork experience other than what I've done at Maker Camp, which is not nearly enough for what I would need to do here. And so I very quickly gave up on that, and I found some sconces on Amazon that I actually really liked. So even though they weren't actually vintage or antique, they had the vibe that I really liked. And the one that I found had the switch, but the problem was that I looked up tulip sconces, and so the glass was very, again, floral like because they're meant to look like tulips. So then I found these other sconces on Amazon, and then I loved the shape of the glass on those, but those didn't have the switch. So then I was like, well, what if I buy the sconces that have the switch, and then I buy the sconces without the switch, and I take the glass off the sconces that don't have the switch and put them with the sconces that do have the switch. And then I was like, that might be a little insane. But that was the very last thought that I had about sconces before I went to the architectural salvage places, and then I looked for sconces. Unfortunately, I still have not found sconces, but what I did find were glasses. So this was the first glass that I saw, and it's got that beautiful, large, floral-like shape to it without being overtly a flower. And I was like, yes, if I could find one more of these, then I'll be all set. This is $6. They only had one. I got it anyway, just in case. Just in case I can find another one just like it. But they also have this one that is, again, a little more flower shaped. I loved the ridges on this. They only had one in stock. He gave it to me for $3 because it was unmarked. So we went to 2 places in Chicago, and then the following day we went to another place in Maywood. I actually was about to give up going to this place because I couldn't freaking find it. So whenever I was driving down the road, the GPS told me to turn in one place, and I missed it the first time. And so I made a U-turn. I drove back to where the GPS told me to go, and I was like, this is not right. Like, something is very wrong. It looked like some sort of like state building, like a department building. I was like, this is not at all what I'm looking for. So then I was about to really give up. I went one more block around, and I was just, I couldn't find it. Thankfully, I was able to find it. But basically, you have to go down a road, and there's only a wooden sign. It looks very sketchy. There's only a wooden sign up front that points to exactly where it is. Had this place not had a ton of reviews, I probably would not have gone to it because it did look very sketchy, and I had the baby. But I'm very glad that I went to it because they had a ton of stuff. If I ever need to source any sort of slab remnants, I'm absolutely going to check there first. And they had a ton of doors. They have a lot of really good stuff. And I think that whenever I'm ready for some more building materials, I'm definitely gonna go try that place because it's got a lot. There's a lot of really good stuff there. Unfortunately, all of the lights were pretty expensive. I was kind of shocked with the price tag on a lot of things, and I was just walking around, and all of a sudden I found this brass set of containers that just had brass remnants in it. What I need is something like this. I was really excited because I thought that this was a knob, but it's just a screw. So I'm gonna dig through these and see if we can find anything that might work. And then came back to the idea of what if I make my own sconces. So I found this, and I called my dad immediately, and I said, hey, how hard would it be to wire this up and make my own sconce? And he said, it'll probably be a pain in the ass, but I'm sure we can do it. So I looked for a second, and I found it. I was so excited. I'm gonna share some close-ups of these because they're gorgeous, and just sitting here doing this, there's no way that I would be able to show off how beautiful they are, but I was thrilled. I was almost about to give up hope because I really dug through those containers and they were quite gross, but I found the second one. I was determined, y'all. I was so determined. But now what I need is a back plate to mount these. I think I'm going to go back to that place maybe next week to see if they have some plates that I could use. And then there's another place that I'd like to go that's even further north in Evanston and see if they have some materials as well. Also at that place, I found 2 glasses. They're not like super florally. They're definitely flowers, but they're not too florally. And I found 2, which is huge. But I also really like the pattern that's on these. I think that that would make a really pretty pattern in the room once there's a light in it. And I just think that it would go so well with these. I think it's gonna be beautiful. I think it's gonna look so gorgeous. I love the little details on this. This is how I would want the orientation to go. So now I'm on the hunt for back plates for these. And then my thought is that I'm going to get some sort of a lamp kit. I found a couple, I mean, they're very cheap. I found all 4 of these items. I was very excited. It was gonna be like $8, I think. And then the lights went off. Y'all, the power went off and I thought that we were gonna have to leave because obviously there's no power, there's no card reader, and I didn't have cash on me, which I know is probably like a rookie mistake, but I just didn't have cash at the time. Power goes off and thankfully it comes back on and I'm like, all right, well, we gotta get out of here. Well, I put my stuff on the counter. The guy's like, you want to leave that here? I was like, yes. So I put it on the counter and I go walk around the other side. I didn't find anything. And whenever I come back, none of the workers were there. So they were standing right outside. So I walked out and the guys were like, oh, okay, you ready? And I'm like, yeah. He goes behind the counter and he just hands it to me. And he's like, here you go. And I was like, ah! I almost cried. It was only $8. That's nothing huge, but I was very thankful nonetheless. And I really, truly could not believe it. And then I get back out to my car. I see that light in my car. And I was like, I know that there's a lot of really good glass in this. I'd love to go back in and look and see if maybe I can find something for the light that I bought a few days ago. And then I was like, no, I feel kind of awkward now. Because he just handed me something for free and I was super thankful and I was like, thank you so much. And then I was like, I can't just go back in there. So I'll probably make the 45-minute drive again sometime in the next couple weeks to look at more glass. And maybe by that point they'll have some more glass that I didn't see initially, and maybe they'll have some back plates as well. That would be wonderful because there was a lot of stuff in those brass boxes. The last things that I had to show that I found for the room, I stopped by a garage sale that was in our neighborhood. I found it whenever we were going on one of our walks, and I fully intended on not finding anything because it really looked like all he had was clothing and garage parts, which I wasn't interested in. But then I showed up, was not prepared to buy anything. Like I didn't even have, again, I didn't have cash on me. Shock, surprise. But then I found this. And if you guys don't know, I am a sucker for hardware. I love it. And so I asked him, I was like, how much? He said $60 for all 3 things. At first he said $60 and I was like, for all 3? And he was a little hesitant and he goes, yes, that's fine. I was like, yeah. Because just one of these doorknobs sells for $60 whenever it's clean. So like $65 for just this, whereas I got all 3 things for $65. I have another door plate that we purchased in Maine, so I'm going to use that for the other side of the door. I don't know which side I'll use which plate for, because I think that they both have keyholes. He had a couple more plates. He had a lot more plates, but they were dirty, and I really like the patina on this one, so I just got this one. And then he came out with something. I had been back and forth to this garage sale 3 times, and he came out with 4 sketches of Colonial Williamsburg for framing, which he's like, hey, do you want these? And he said $3, and I was like, okay, $3, why not? They're very cool though. I would have to buy some sort of frame for these. I'd have to buy or make some sort of frames for these, but they're really cool. They're neat sketches, and I feel like you could always use some black and white art. Like, it doesn't hurt. These would be really cool in like a bathroom. Maybe whenever I renovate the hallway, I'll find a place for these. but $3, I was like, yeah, I love stuff like this, so why not? What I did not get that I thought was wildly cool, and I didn't even ask for a price because I was just like, I don't need to know the price of this, but he had a bunch of Elvis memorabilia. He had an entire photo book of like Elvis concerts and backstage and all kinds of stuff, like good professional close-ups of Elvis. It was wild. He had some paintings that actually had like the certificate of authenticity. There was this one frame that I died for. I didn't really care for the painting that was inside of it. It was fine, but I didn't love the painting. And whenever he picked it up, he said, here's the certificate of authenticity. It was right on the back of it. And he said he wanted $180. And obviously I'm not gonna be like, I'll give you 20 for the frame. That would just be ridiculous. So I was like, I'll pass, but thank you. You guys, I found these end tables on Facebook Marketplace for $40, like $40 total for both. And they are so cute. I love them so much. The issue is that they are a little deep, but I think I can make it work. I just really loved the detail and the look of this. It does need to be stripped. I'd like to refinish them and get rid of the like chippy paint on it. But I think they're so cute and they're gonna look so good in the room. I also found this lamp while I was shopping for Halloween decor one day. If I can find another one like it, I'd love to, but if I can't, then I'm perfectly fine with just having one of them. And I just think it's gonna look so good. Like, oh, that's just so good. I love it so much. It has brought me so much joy sourcing materials for this bedroom. I love it. Obviously there's a lot of work until it's time for the pretty progress, but I cannot wait. I'm so excited to decorate this bedroom. It's going to just be so beautiful. That's all I have for today's video. Make sure to subscribe so that you don't miss any of the renovations that I have coming up. I've been working a lot behind the scenes, so I have a lot of renovations coming up in the next few weeks that you definitely don't want to miss. Hit the subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you all real soon. Bye guys.